UptimeHealth, and Bill Olson is going to present. Bill, are you ready?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks everybody. Real pleasure to be here today. Let me load my deck here. I think when I do that, I'm gonna lose you. So you're gonna.
Good. We can see it.
Okay, good. Uh, can you still see it?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So Uptime Health, we are a software technology company. We have a services component as well. We're based in Boston, although we have some offices in other places like Houston. And we are focused on managing equipment. And when you take a look at the healthcare space, there's some very good solutions out there that have been around for a long time and fairly mature for organizations to help take care of patients, either with communications or payments, and then dealing with providers. Um, but on the equipment side, there's really not been a very good solution, especially when you consider the equipment from a owner perspective, like a hospital or a small urgent care, a dental office, which we'll talk a little bit more about. A lot of the solutions that are out there focus on more of if I'm a clinical engineering team, I'm a technician, and what are the things I have to do to manage it? There's really a lot around ticket management and so on, but we take a different perspective. We look at the entire life cycle from the perspective of a facility owner and a facility user and providing the upkeep and everything, all the entire ecosystem around that equipment that is in direct line of care for patients. So, as we know, with equipment that's in the direct line of care for patients, there's a lot of regulations from the FDA and so on. There's a real lack of resources out there to work on these things, a lack of knowledge around how long these things have been maintained, what's some of the intelligent analytics that could be applied. We'll talk a little more about that. And it's really a very underserved market right now. And what we do as a company is we make a software platform that manages all this equipment. And we also have services which also allow you to purchase equipment as well. But we take a look at everything around that equipment from a ecosystem of people interacting with the devices on a daily basis that are not just technicians coming out to fix things, but for instance, if you're in the case of a dental office, water lines need to be tested and flushed that go to a chair so that you don't have contamination. In the case of an urgent care, batteries need to be checked, surfaces need to be cleaned. When you get in new COVID tests, they have to go through a procedure on what you do with that. We provide all of the processes and templates for how to do that, along with all the templates for maintaining that equipment. In addition to that, we have all the intelligent analytics to predict what the failure rate might be for these things if you don't keep them up to, if they're not maintained properly, plus how much you're going to spend. And in the case of IoT, which we also have, as an example, vaccine refrigerators, you need to check the vaccine temperature on a vaccine fridge, according to the FDA, twice a day, and that has to be logged. A lot of companies have been doing that just with like a little blue three-ring binder logbook that sits on top of the refrigerator. But what our software does is it actually connects to the refrigerator twice a day and gets the temperature and then digitally logs it. And if it finds it out of compliance, it will alert you. And so not only just logging it, but it also takes action. And it ties in with the rest of our software as far as the whole platform around messaging and dispatching technicians. So if we do find something that's wrong, we take action on it. So it's not just about monitoring, it's about taking action in addition to gathering all that data. So right now, between our services organization and our software, we have about 6,000 locations. And I'll talk a little bit in a bit about how we charge for that, our revenue model. Um, they use it in a variety of different formats. Some of our customers are purely service. Many are software and service, and some are just software. We have about 2,000 technicians in our network. We also have a marketplace. So in addition to, if you want to get someone out to dispatch, if we notice something's wrong with your vaccine fridge, or if there's noticed something wrong with your chair, and you want to dispatch a technician, or it can auto dispatch, we can get someone that's automatically assigned. But if you actually want to find a new technician, we have a marketplace where you can go out and find a different technician. And technicians can also come to this marketplace and register themselves. It's kind of like a Angie's List to figure out, in a gig economy, if you can find a resource that's potentially you don't have a relationship with, or potentially, doesn't service your particular area. So that marketplace is increasing in popularity. We've been recognized recently. We just got the about a couple of months ago, the Fast Company one of the most innovative technology companies in the U.S. award. Got another big one coming out on Tuesday. I can't mention, but we're getting a lot of press and great press and accolades recently. So, what's our business model from a charging perspective? We try to go in with a low cost model where we will essentially get them in with a basic level of service. We charge basically not for how many devices you have, or how many people are using the system. We charge per facility per month as a basic software fee. And there's different bundles that you can purchase, but the basic one gives you analytics, the ability to dispatch technicians, and then we add on for different things like IoT, and they basically go up the value chain. And what we're finding is that even in some of these distribution models, which I'll show you later, we can seed the market with a lower cost option, but then upgrade them to the lower one over time as they start to use more and more features. The important thing to note is, because nurses and doctors are interacting with our software in many cases every day, to work on tasks and other things that they have to do for their equipment. This is not a package. It's high touch. It's not a package where they're using it every 3 months when something breaks down. Our users are in our software very, very frequently. Tasks, which is things that people can do around the office, we are doing millions of those on a monthly basis. So very high frequency. So because people are using it a lot, there's a natural inclination to gravitate up towards more packages as they see the value in our platform. In addition to the base fee that we charge per facility per month, we also have a small take rate on service. So whenever a service transaction is interacted on our system, we have a small take fee for that. So that's an additional revenue stream for us. This is taking a quick look at the market size. I'm focusing a little bit here on dental. We started off in medical. We are spending a lot of time over the last couple of years on dental and really maturing that market. And I'll talk a little bit about how we're doing that with different channels. But it's a large market. We feel that we've made a great presence in dental with the amount of locations and the total addressable market that's available to us. We are now swinging back towards medical, although you'll see in a little bit, we've continued to sell medical over the years, and we have some pretty big customers. Veterinary is also interesting to us. And how we've done that on dental, and why I call it a mature market, is we spend a lot of time first with direct sales, but then maturing these channel relationships with distributors. In the case of Henry Schein, Patterson, Darby, they have about 85,000 markets just between Henry Schein and Darby. If you add Patterson, it goes up to 125,000. All three of those actually sell our software. So our product is a SKU that their salespeople can sell. So we're leveraging their sales force to move our product. And a lot of times those come at the lower rates, and then we upgrade them over time. The direct team is what we use for usually the bigger enterprise type sales and for the newer markets. So right now our direct team is focusing a little bit more back on medical as we go into that, and we'll build the channel relationships there as well. And as those mature, that'll start to take off, and the length of a sale will go down as well as the cost. Spend just a little bit of time here on revenue growth. We started off in 2018/19. We spent a couple of years building the product. We released it right around the time of COVID in medical, when it was very difficult to get everybody's focus on that. We did get a few big customers though, and I'll show those on my chart in a minute. but we pivoted to dental in 2022, and it's really been taken off like gangbusters. We also did an acquisition in 2024. So revenue for last year grew to 11.5 million. We're on track. So if you can see the chart here for H1, we're on track to do about 15.8 this year. We're getting close to profitability. We're still in growth mode, spending a lot of money on product and sales. And next year we predict we're going to do a little shy of 28 million. I'm sorry, 25 million. And we will be EBITDA positive. Here's a logo chart of our existing customers, and then just a little bit on the team. So I am the CTO and co-founder. Janesh is my partner in crime, is the other co-founder and the CEO, and we've got a great team, from Russ Baker to Elise to Taylor, that come from different corners of the industry. I'm a little less on the medical side. I've been more of a tech geek throughout my career, but we've got a lot of industry experience with the rest of the management team. I'll stop there.
Great. Thank you very much. And if you can stop sharing, I can bring the judges over. All right. Questions?
Yes, I definitely have a question. So I'm familiar with Caterpillar, and they actually have sensors in all their uh, tractors and other heavy equipment worldwide, and they do exactly what you do. They're getting information from them all the time. They can predict failures and so forth, but they manufacture all their equipment. I'm wondering, how the heck do you manage the complexity of the various different types of equipment for each segment that you're serving? I mean, what kind of back end and what kind of team do you have that's keeping up with all this? Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. That's a great question. So we have we use from an IoT perspective, we get all the data from cloud APIs. So we don't actually reach out to the physical device itself, but we'll rely on, for instance, in the case of a vaccine fridge, that their movement of data into the cloud. A lot of these manufacturers have already done the hard work of moving their data to the cloud, but a lot of them solve it by moving their data into like an app that you can see. But if you're in a hospital or a dental office, then they have 15 different manufacturers. They're not going to have 15 different apps. So we took kind of the Google Home approach, where we get all the data and then we set up automations, alerts based upon that data we get. As far as the taking a look at it from a predictive failure perspective, the whole software is designed as a multi-tenant system. So even though one customer can only see their specific devices, we have, through our system, the ability to look across all customers, all tens of thousands of devices and thousands of sites, to take a look at what people are spending and what their maintenance rates are on a particular piece of equipment. And then we can take a look at what you've done and do benchmarking against that. And then we can see when critical failures have occurred through like responding to a job or a ticket. And we can use that to inform the customer who hasn't been providing maintenance accordingly.
Great.
Well, thank
Uh,
you.
Any other questions?
Can you talk a little bit more about your team? I know you're rushed a little bit with time, but would love to know, especially if you're going into other markets.
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. So Janesh is more on the clinical engineering side. He's the CEO, and we've been doing this. We started the company, like I said, 2018, 2019, early, and he's got, like I said, quite a bit of clinical engineering experience in healthcare at large hospitals. Russ Baker, who's our CRO, his expertise is largely in dental. But Taylor Dunn, who is our VP of partnerships, has worked for Urgent Care of America, the Urgent Care Association of America. So she has a lot of experience in standards and so on for urgent cares. So we have a lot of experience in different areas, both in medical and dental. We don't have a lot right now in veterinary, but we'll see if we can get some subject matter experts through different methods as we engage in that market.
Hey, Bill, across the 2,000 locations, it seems to me you must know now if the primary, there's a million things that your customers probably love about you, but the primary thing is you keep their equipment up and running more minutes of the year than otherwise would. And if that piece of it is tied to a revenue generating service, they generate more revenue. Does Uptime now, with all these years and all these locations of data, can it prove that more revenue is being captured because the equipment is in the case of your name, is the uptime is there of the equipment? If you get the gist of my question.
Yeah, and I think the value proposition varies, Jay, I think across markets, but let's talk about dental, where it's certainly ROI is important. And in the case of dental, how we calculate that is we start with what is the likelihood of avoidance of downtime, right? And there are certain critical pieces of equipment. So the short answer is yes, we can do that by looking at some of the critical pieces of infrastructure for a dental office. In the case of dental, you've got vacuum and compressors. Believe it or not, all those chairs in your dental office, they all run off of one compressor. And if that compressor goes down, the entire dental office is out of commission for the entire day. So we can predict that now by taking a look at and provide that value back to a dental office by saying, we were able to get somebody out and service something before it failed, and we know how much that will save them on a daily basis.
Right.
Had it gone down.
Yep. Thank you.